Well, zombies, one of the most iconic monsters from the pop culture, and The Last of Us just releasing this year showing us that the gender is still alive after The Walking Dead being cancelled in the 12th season. The Last of Us is hitting a new audience record every in each episode. So yeah, zombies are not dead. What is kind of funny, because zombies are very recently in pop culture when we compare with werewolves that were invented centuries ago, or even vampires or ghosts. The first zombie like we know today was invented 55 years ago. So why do we love them so much? Why do we have a ton of movies being made about zombies and series that never end, like 11 seasons? And now The Last of Us is hitting a lot of audience records. How do we fall in love with them? Why do we like them so much? Well, my name is Lukas Makail, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Well, first things first, the oldest data we have of something remotely like a zombie is from the ancient Greek, specifically in an island called Sicily, where they had so much fear from the death. They use it to bury bodies weighted with rocks and amphora just to avoid them to somehow return to life. They used to put that rocks above the whole body, or sometimes just above the feet and the head, so like the middle of the body will be stuck it. But at the same time, other cultures in Greek used to try to talk to the undead. So it's kind of contradiction. Of course, that doesn't have a big relation with zombies that we know today. Well, the first time the word zombie was seen in English language was to describe the zombies from the Voodoo religion, from people from Haiti. I don't know too much about Voodoo religion, so I'm not going too deep on that. So basically in Voodoo you have two categories when you talk about dying. The first one is the natural way, the God's will, like getting old or getting sick. And the other one is the unnatural way, that is more like getting murdered before your time. So when you die the unnatural way, your body gets stuck in your tomb and you can be reanimated by a sorcerer, a powerful sorcerer that they call Boko. I don't know the correct pronunciation, but that's how you write it, B-O-K-O. So this Boko guy can even lock your soul in a bottle and then use your unliving but undead body to do whatever he wants to control you. Or he can just take your soul and not using your body, is up to them. But even in Voodoo religion, some people don't believe in zombies. They think there's just a folk tales. But some believers do believe that zombies are real, just real as Pedro Pascal. Last of Us! Well, but what's the relation between the zombie and the zombie that we know today? I mean, till now it can be a mummy too. The Voodoo religion zombie inspired the first book about zombies in pop culture, called The Magic Island by William Bowler. I think I'm speaking the name properly. In 1929, and this book had directly inspired the first zombie movie made, White Zombie, distributed by United Arts, a company owned by Charlie Chaplin at that time. And a fun fact, the budget was so low, $50,000, that they had to record at night, not in the daylight as planned. So this ended up adding a lot to creating that scary environment. The movie didn't have a big box office, but for an independent film at that time it sold enough. Not enough unfortunately to have a sequence, but enough to have a legacy. Although the zombie in White Zombie, it's a voodoo zombie, there is a Boko that fools some people, kind of reanimates them like an unliving and that thing. But White Zombie made possible in 1968, 36 years after the Night of the Living Dead. I don't know if that thing is focusing.
Night of the Living Dead.
A movie by George Romero that changed completely the vision we had about zombies at that time. It's still an independent movie, low budget, black and white kind of film. Even we had the colored films technology since 1940s. But this movie created the lore that we know about zombies today. They are not more reanimated by someone or some special sorcerer. Now they are a plague, a virus that starts from nothing. And if one of them bites you, you turn into one of them too. If you want to kill one of them, you need to shot them on the head.
The plan is kill the brain, and you kill the ghoul.
And it's really fun to see in the movie that even being an independent film, the director trying to show us through TV and radio station what was happening around in the world and how the apocalypse was evolving. And in a budget of $115,000, the movie made a $30 million box office. So 10 years after the Night of the Living Dead, we have the sequence, right?
Night of the Living Dead has ended. Dawn of the Dead is here.
And in this movie, we see the bigger scenario that they tried to show us in the first one. So the whole United States is being devastated by those creatures, going through everyone that dies or get beaten by one of them. And then we see that the world is collapsing, although in some farm areas they can control the zombies, and the open centers they can't. And this movie have a lot of classics when we talk about zombie movies, like the whole mall scene and the Green Zombie. 7 years after the Dawn of the Dead, we have the third one of the franchise.
First, he created the most frightening film ever made. Then, he took his unique vision of terror one step further. Now, George A. Romero takes us out of the night, beyond the dawn, and into the darkest day of horror the world has ever known. Day of the Dead.
This movie is far more in the future. We have a smaller population that's still alive and fighting the zombies. So the whole country is now chaos. And well, this was basically what happened with the pop culture. Zombies took over. Michael Jackson with Thriller, the Cranberries with Zombie. Even in cartoons, Scooby-Doo in a Zombie Island, Simpsons in a special episode, Phineas and Ferb, South Park when we talk about more modern cartoons. Games like Resident Evil that was first released in 1996 and now have a big franchise, more than 8 games, prequels, sequels, remakes, remasters, rebuilds. Online games like Left 4 Dead, and even mobile games like Plants vs. Zombies. And how could we not talk about more zombie movies? Even George Romero made another trilogy now in the 2000s, and Evil Dead. More than 5 movies, series, and even games adaptations. Okay, I know that Evil Dead is a bit polemic when we talk about it is a zombie genre or is not, but one thing that we can be sure of is that Evil Dead added a lot for zombie culture and brought a lot of fans from the series to other zombie movies in the 80s.
We're gonna get you, not another peep.
And then we start with the power zombies like World War Z zombies that can run, giant zombies, alien zombies, clown zombies, zombies with guns, headless zombies, lover zombies, superhero zombies, and then the TV shows. And how could we not talk about The Walking Dead when we talk about zombies TV shows? The Walking Dead was the big brother for all those series that came after it, showing that this was going to work. The perfect combination, zombies and series. Just for it to have an idea, The Walking Dead hit 17.29 million simultaneously viewers on the TV back in the 5th season, and then ended up in the 11th season. And today we have The Last of Us, produced by HBO, that is taking place. The Last of Us is an adaptation of a game with the same name from 2013, made with Pedro Pascal as the protagonist, and the first episode had 4.7 million simultaneously viewers. But now the 4th episode had 7.5 million viewers simultaneously on the TV. I know the number is not the same as The Walking Dead, but when we compare the 4th episode of the series with the 5th season of The Walking Dead, well, The Last of Us is growing pretty fast. And the series have all that thing that zombies are not about bacteria or a virus, but about a fungus. And okay, we get it. We have all kinds of zombies, all genders of zombie movies or zombie series, but the essence, the idea of a zombie is still the same in all of this productions, being games, being cartoons, being novels, being films, series, or whatever. So why do we love zombies so much? What did zombies made in those 55 years that made me fall in love with them? Well, basically, the general idea of enjoying zombie is the what if factor. What if this happened? What if a zombie apocalypse really hits? I mean, The Last of Us is based on a fungus that exists in real life and turns ants into zombies ants. So why is this impossible? And this whole idea of what would I take from my house and all that thing of limited resources and the story evolving while the times goes on. For example, you can have a World War Z kind of movie that the pandemic or whatever just hit and you have a lot of resources to try to use and avoid or manage the situation and try to control it and go back to the normal life. Or you can have more like Night of the Living Dead, that's still in the beginning of the apocalypse, but in a small group, so they don't have the resources that a government will have. Or you can have a The Last of Us kind of story that happens 20 years later and you have some sort of government. You can have a The Walking Dead that doesn't have that big time frame, but the government just crash it and the resources are each and every episode more and more limited. So that whole idea of the story evolving while the time goes on is very catchy and make us to think different what ifs. Well, but that's why I think that we love zombies. Let me know why you think you love zombies. I mean, if you click it on this video, at least you have watched some of those zombie movies that I mentioned here, or even the series, or maybe played a game, an adaptation, you read a book, probably enjoy zombies some way. And are you watching The Last of Us? Let me know in the comments below. I played the games, I'm a huge fan of the franchise. I'm not saying that because the series just released it and now suddenly everyone loves The Last of Us game. I really love the games. And I'm really enjoying the series, it's very good. Pedro Pascal is giving all he have. Let me know what you think. Let's talk about The Last of Us, let's talk about zombies. And yeah, that's my first video here. I'm Lukas Makail again. If you enjoyed the video, please like, leave a comment, share with someone that you know that loves zombies too. And yeah, that's it. See you next. Bye bye.